Right now, you're surrounded by walls. A roof over your head. A door that locks. Maybe a window with curtains. A bed in the corner. A place that is unmistakably yours. You probably never think about it. But somewhere a very long time ago, none of this existed. No walls. No roofs. No doors. And the story of how we got from nothing to this is stranger, older, and more surprising than almost anyone realizes. So let's go back. Not a few hundred years. Not a few thousand. Let's go back nearly 2 million years. For most of human history, there was no such thing as a home. Our earliest ancestors, species like Homo erectus, lived the way every other animal on the planet lived. Wherever the food was, that is where they were. Wherever it was safe to sleep, that is where they slept. Archaeologist Will Robrooks at Leiden University has spent decades excavating some of the oldest human sites in the world, and his research shows something important. Early hominins did not build. They occupied. They found natural shelter, a rock overhang, a shallow cave, a dense thicket of trees, and they simply used what already existed. This is the first thing to understand. Before humans built homes, humans found homes. The planet itself was the architecture. But something changed, and it changed because of one specific event that most people never think about. Fire. The controlled use of fire is one of the most significant turning points in the entire human story. Richard Wrangham, biological anthropologist at Harvard University, argues his research that fire did not just provide warmth. It restructured the entire rhythm of human life. Before fire, when the sun went down, the day was effectively over. Predators owned the darkness. But once early humans could control flame, night stopped being purely dangerous. A fire became a boundary, a circle of light that predators avoided and humans gathered inside. And here is the detail that changes everything. That circle of light was, in a very real sense, the first home. Not a structure, not four walls, a zone. A space that was different from the space around it. Inside the firelight, you were part of something. Outside it, you were exposed. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have observed this same pattern for over 100,000 years. The fire is the center. Everything else is arranged around it. Now, evidence for actual constructed shelters starts to appear surprisingly early. At a site called Terra Amata in modern-day France, archaeologist Henry de Lumley uncovered traces of oval-shaped structures dating back roughly 400,000 years. Post holes in the ground, a ring of stones, evidence of a central hearth. This was not a cave. This was something built on purpose by hands that understood a simple but revolutionary idea. Shelter could be made, not just found. Around the same era, in Japan, archaeologists uncovered what may be one of the oldest deliberately constructed dwellings on the planet, at a site linked to early hominin activity, roughly 500,000 years old. The details differ across these sites, but the underlying idea does not. At some point, human ancestors stopped waiting for shelter to appear. They started making it appear. Think about what that required. You cannot build a shelter unless you can imagine a shelter that does not yet exist. You have to picture a structure in your mind before a single branch is placed. You have to understand which materials will hold, which will collapse, how wind moves, how rain falls, how a curved shape resists collapse better than a flat one. This is not a small cognitive leap. This is one of the earliest known instances of planned construction in the history of life on Earth. And it did not happen because humans were bored. It happened because the world outside was lethal, and the humans who solved this problem were the ones who survived it. By the time we reached the Upper Paleolithic era, roughly 40,000 years ago, shelters had become remarkably sophisticated. In parts of what is now Ukraine and Russia, archaeologists have uncovered dwellings built almost entirely from mammoth bones. Massive tusks arched overhead like the ribs of some enormous creature. Animal hides